Today we discuss about the fourth and fifth component of the farming system. Fourth component is the sheep and goat, and fifth component is the fish. That means the aquaculture. So, first one we study about the uh, fourth component, sheep and goat. In that sheep and goat, first one is the sheep. Sheep, sheep. It is the well adapted animals. That means this sheep, it is adapted in every area of the India, from Jammu Kashmir to Kanyakumari, or also from Rajasthan to, that means east to west Rajasthan, or here also Himachal Pradesh, or also Meghalaya, Sikkim, and Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, in this area. That means in total area of the country or India, this sheep is adapted. So that means the sheep rearing is throughout the year, and the rearing of this sheep, not much financial inputs are required. That means less inputs are required. Also after maturity of these sheep or ready for market, it give the constant income to the farmer throughout the year. Also, these sheep are rare in India or in all over world. It is for the wool, meat, milk, hide, skin purpose also. And the feeding habit of this sheep is stall feed, or also in open field. That means stall field immediate means in the sheep house also. तर ह्याच्यामध्ये शीप एक असं प्राणी आहे की इंडियामध्ये, भारतात काश्मीरपासून कन्याकुमारी, त्याचबरोबर इकडून राजस्थान, गुजरातपासून तर इकडे सिक्कीम, अरुणाचल प्रदेश या राज्यामध्ये, म्हणजेच भारताच्या कोणत्याही राज्यात किंवा कोणत्याही एरियात याचं काय केलं जातं, मेंढीचं पालन केलं जातं, म्हणजेच मेंढी पालन केलं जातं. आणि मेंढी पालन करण्यासाठी आपल्याला जास्त पैशाची गरज लागत नाही, म्हणजे शेतकऱ्याला कमी पैशामध्ये सुद्धा मेंढी पालन हा व्यवसाय तो चालू करू शकतो. आणि एकदा का मेंढी म्हणजे मेंढी ज्यावेळेस मॅच्युअर होईल, म्हणजेच विकण्यासाठी तयार होईल, तेव्हापासून शेतकऱ्याला वर्षभर सतत पैसा येत राहतो. मेंढीपालन कशासाठी केलं जातं, तर याच्यापासून लोकर मिळण्यासाठी, मटण असेल, दूध असेल, याच्यापासून हाईड म्हणजे चामडं म्हटलं जातं, चामडं, आणि स्किन पर्पजसाठी याचा काय केला जातो, यूज केला जातो. तर हे जे शीप आहे, हे शीप हे एका ठिकाणी, म्हणजेच काय म्हणतात त्याला, शीप हाऊस, म्हणजे एका ठिकाणी किंवा बांधूनसुद्धा यांना आपण चारा घालू शकतो, किंवा ओपन फील्डमध्ये सुद्धा ते काय करू शकतात, चरायला जाऊ शकतात. तर अशा पद्धतीने हे शीप आहेत. तर शीपच्या ब्रीड्स, नाव दी ब्रीड्स ऑफ द शीप. देर आर सेव्हरल ब्रीड्स ऑफ शीप थ्रूआउट दी वर्ल्ड्स, लाईक दॅट दी पटवाड नाही, पटनवाड, बाखरवल, नाली, रामपूर बुशेर, लोही, etc. are the different breeds of sheep, but according to the geographical situation of country or geographical situation of India, these breeds are classified into 3 categories, and these categories are the temperate Himalaya region, next one is the dry western region, and third one is the southern region. These are the 3 types of, or 3 categories of the breeds. These are classified on the basis of geographical situation of the country. So in that, first, temperate Himalaya region. These ships are included Bakarwal, Gurez, Gadi, Karnah, Rampur Bushehr. So these are the different breeds are rare in the temperate Himalaya region, that means Jammu Kashmir, also Delhi, etc. part, temperate Himalaya region. So this is first part. Next part is dry western region. Dry western region where the rainfall is less occurs, like that the Rajasthan, Gujarat. So in that area, the breeds are rare: Kutchi, Marwari, Lohi, Bikaneri, and Kathiawari. So these breeds are rare in the dry western region, that means where the annual rainfall is less. Next one, next our third type is the southern region. Southern region near to the that means Kanyakumari, Tamil Nadu, also Andhra Pradesh, that means southern part of the India. In southern part of India, Mandya, Bellary, Deccani, Nellore, Bandur, etc. ships are reared in this southern region. So these are the three types, or these are the three groups of rearing of ships. भारताच्या भौगोलिक परिस्थितीनुसार काय केलेलं आहे, वेगवेगळे 3 प्रकार पाडलेले आहेत आणि त्या 3 प्रकारामध्ये काय केलं जातं, मेंढीचं पालन केलं जातं. तर त्याच्यामध्ये पहिला आहे टेम्परेट हिमालया रिजन. टेम्परेट हिमालया रिजनमध्ये बाकरवल, गेरजू, गाडी, कर्नाह, रामपूर, बुशेर इत्यादी मेंढीच काय केलं जातं, पालन केलं जातं. त्यानंतर दुसरं आहे ते म्हणजे ड्राय वेस्टर्न रिजन. तर या रिजनमध्ये कुटची, मारवारी, लोही, बिकानेरी, काठेवारी या प्रकारच्या मेंढ्या काय केल्या जातात, तर पाळल्या जातात. त्याच्यानंतर तिसरा पार्ट आहे तो म्हणजे साऊथर्न रिजन. साऊथर्न रिजन म्हणजे तमिळनाडू असेल, कन्याकुमारी असेल, आंध्र प्रदेश असेल, हैदराबाद, हा जो भाग आहे, या भागामध्ये मंड्या, बेलरी, डेक्कनी, निल्लोर, बंडूर इत्यादी मेंढीच्या जाती त्या ठिकाणी पाळल्या जातात, त्यांचं पालन केलं जातं. आफ्टर दॅट नेक्स्ट पॉईंट इज द हाऊसिंग रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ sheep. For the sheep, the simple house are required. In case of housing requirement, no expensive or high cost housing is not necessary for this sheep. But there is one major things, those are important to protect this flock from the predatory animals, and that is the fencing. So this is the fencing around the sheep. These fencings are required to protect the flock from the predatory animals, and the height of this fencing is minimum 2 meter is required. Minimum 2 meter is required to avoid the entry of any predatory animals in flock of sheep. तर अशा पद्धतीने हे हाऊसिंग सिस्टीम आहे. हाऊसिंग सिस्टीममध्ये जास्त खर्च होईल अशी हाऊसिंग सिस्टीम नाही शिपची. अगदी साधी आणि सोपी सिंपल हाऊसिंग सिस्टीम आहे. याच्यामध्ये हाऊसिंग सिस्टीममध्ये जो आपला मेंढीचा कळप असतो, तो कळपामध्ये कोणत्याही एखाद्या बाहेरच्या ॲनिमलचा म्हणजेच कोल्हा, लांडगा इत्यादीचा प्रवेश होऊन याच्यामधले आपले शिप्स खाऊ नये यासाठी काय करायचं आहे, याला कुंपण करायचं आहे, तारेचं कुंपण करायचं आहे. आणि हे तारेचं कुंपण असं करायचं आहे की जेणेकरून उडी मारूनसुद्धा एखाद्या प्राण्याला त्याच्यामध्ये आत येता आलं नाही पाहिजे. तर त्यासाठी याची हाईट किती पाहिजे, तर हाईट पाहिजे साधारणतः कमीत कमी 2 मीटर. एवढे हाईट असेल तर कोणता प्राणी आतमध्ये येऊ शकत नाही, म्हणजे त्या प्राण्यापासून या फ्लॉकला म्हणजे मेंढीच्या कळपाला कोणत्या प्रकारचा धोका पोहोचत नाही. अशा पद्धतीने हे हाऊसिंग रिक्वायरमेंट आहे. आफ्टर दॅट नेक्स्ट वन इज द फीडिंग रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ शीप. इन केस ऑफ फीडिंग रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ शीप रिक्वायर्ड refuges concentrated and also vitamin and minerals. So in case of daily ration 1 to 2 kg leguminous hay are required. 1 to 2 kg leguminous hay. Also in case of concentrate, in case of hay, hay requirements is depends upon the weight of the animal or age of the animal also. So in case of next one, the concentration. In case of concentration, such types of concentration is give to the sheep. This concentration provided protein to the animals, and the protein content, that means in case of concentrated use or give the groundnut cake, also sesame cake, also safflower cake. Next one, it is about concentration. In case of minerals or vitamins, to meet the minerals and vitamins, the sheep give the common salt, also ground limestone, and the sterilized bone in equal part. This content is also included in daily ration. म्हणजेच या ठिकाणी काय फीडिंग खाण्यासाठी मेंढीला खाण्यासाठी दिवसातून 1 ते 2 kg हा वाळलेला चारा किंवा सुका ओला चारा लागतो. तर याच्यामध्ये 1 ते 2 kg हा त्या ह्याच्यावर म्हणजेच मेंढीच्या वयावरती आणि वजनावरती डिपेंड आहे. वजन जेवढं जास्त तेवढा चारा त्याला जास्त द्यावा लागणार आहे. त्यानंतर कॉन्सन्ट्रेशनमध्ये आपल्याला ग्राउंडनट केक म्हणजेच भुईमुगाची पेंड म्हणतो त्याला आपण, त्याचबरोबर सेसॅमम केक, सॅफ्लॉवर केक हे त्याच्यामध्ये त्याला द्यायचं आहे. त्याचबरोबर त्याला आपल्याला काय द्यायचं आहे, मिनरल्स आणि विटॅमिन द्यायचं आहे. तर मिनरल्स आणि विटॅमिनसाठी ग्राउंड लाईमस्टोन, त्यानंतर कॉमन साल्ट आणि स्टरिलाइज्ड बोन हे काय करायचं आहे, इक्वल पार्टमध्ये त्या फिशला खाण्यासाठी द्यायचं आहे. तर हे देण्यामागचं कारण काय आहे की मिनरल्स विटॅमिनमध्ये कॉमन साल्ट असेल, त्याचबरोबर ग्राउंड लाईमस्टोन असेल आणि स्टरिलाइज्ड बोन. तर हे इक्वल पार्टमध्ये कशासाठी द्यायचं आहे, तर जी मिनरलची डिफिशियन्सी तयार होणार आहे किंवा मिनरलमुळे जी डिफिशियन्सी येणार आहे शिपमध्ये, तर ती डिफिशियन्सी कमी करण्यासाठी आपल्याला कॉमन साल्ट, त्याचबरोबर ग्राउंड लाईमस्टोन आणि स्टरिलाइज्ड बोन हे इक्वल पार्टमध्ये द्यायचं आहे. त्याचबरोबर ह्या कॉन्सन्ट्रेशनच्या बाबतीत याच्यामध्ये कमीत कमी 210 ग्रॅम, 110 ते कॉन्सन्ट्रेटमध्ये 110 ते 225 ग्रॅम कॉन्सन्ट्रेट हे त्या शिपचं बॉडी मेंटेन ठेवण्यासाठी किंवा त्याला हेल्दी राहण्यासाठी आवश्यक आहे. किती कॉन्सन्ट्रेट, 110 ते 225 ग्रॅम. तर अशा पद्धतीने हे फीडिंग आहे. नेक्स्ट पार्ट इज दी ब्रीडिंग अँड मेंटेनन्स. इन केस ऑफ ब्रीडिंग, the ram means female, male sheep, त्याला मेंढा असं आपण म्हणतो, आणि यूज म्हणजेच मेंढी, फिमेल sheep. So in case of breeding, one ram, it is used for the breeding of 40 to 50 ewes. That means one ram can be maintained the 40 to 50 ewes, and this ewes come into heat seasonally. That means seasonally, not regular interval throughout the year like the other animals. It come into heat seasonally, and the heat period of this use is 1 to 3 days. That means near about 24 to 72 hours. 72 hours. So this is the heat period of the use or ship. Also out of the total 100% use, only 75% use are remains in heat for 21 to 39 hours. Only 21 to 39 hours. And during the heat period, the mating service, it is mating of ram and even it is important at the end of heating period of our heating cycle. And the interval between two heating is the 18 days during the breeding program or breeding season. So this is about the mating or breeding in sheep. Also in case of breeding, the gestation period of sheep is 147. It is important for MCR, MPSC or banking purpose. The gestation period of sheep is 147 days. And in case of breeding program, when ram attaining their age 2.5 to 5 years, that means from birth to attaining 2.5 to 5 years, they cannot be used for breeding program. Ram use after when attain their age 2.5 years to the 5 years. And in case of use when attaining 2 years, it used for the breeding program, because after 2 years the use becomes mature, and after that they can use for breeding program. This use give the birth to the 5 lambs. Lambs means कोकरू. या ठिकाणी रॅम म्हणजे काय, मेंढा, यूज म्हणजे काय, मेंढी, आणि लॅम्ब म्हणजे काय तर कोकरू. तर अशा पद्धतीने ब्रीडिंग अँड मेंटेनन्स आहे कशाचा, शिपचा. तर या पद्धतीने हे काय आपण शिप आणि गोट याच्यामधला शिप हा कॉम्पोनंट या ठिकाणी पाहिला. नेक्स्ट वन इज दी गोट शेळी. सो गोट इज दी important livestock enterprises. It is followed by the farmer as well as the landless laborer, because for rearing of this goat, not much or no extra inputs are required. That means less amount of money or less financial inputs are required to rearing of these goats. These goats also having feeding habit, stall feed and open feeding. And these goats are rare for the wool, meat, milk, hide and skin purpose. That means like the sheep. Also this breeds is also known as the cow of poor person. That means poor man's cow. The goat is known as the poor man's cow. This is important for the MCR, MPSC, banking, also for same end exam. For this purpose, the sentence is the poor man's cow is, and the answer is goat. This sentence it is important for semester end theory, MCR, MPSC, banking, etc. agriculture competitive exams. So this is about the goat. Now we say about the breeds. There are near about 300 breeds of goats available in all over world. Near about 300 breeds. Out of that 300, here are some breeds. The breeds are the Illichuri, Jamunapari, Salem, Karpu, Kani, Boer, Kodi, Barbary, Shirohi, and last one is the Osmanabadi. These are the some important breeds of sheep. Out of this, these Osmanabadi breeds, it is that means the sometime question asked for MCR, MPSC, and semester and exam. The important breeds in Maharashtra for goat rearing is, and the answer is Osmanabadi. The answer is Osmanabadi goat. It is important in Maharashtra for rearing, goat rearing. Also another question asked in Osmanabadi, the origin of Osmanabadi. The origin of Osmanabadi is Marathwada. Answer is Marathwada. That means the main origin is Osmanabad. But when asked like that, the origin of Osmanabad is Konkan, Vidarbha, Madhya Maharashtra or Marathwada. At that time they choose the answer Marathwada. If a specific is asked, the origin of Osmanabadi goat breed is at that time, if in option Osmanabad is present, at that time the Osmanabad is selected and got 1 marks in any exam when the question is asked on the basis of origin of Osmanabadi. Now the next we study about तर याच्यामध्ये आपल्याला काय गोट रेअरिंगमध्ये शेळीपालनमध्ये काय तर शेळी पालन हा एक असा व्यवसाय तो शेतकरी करू शकतो आणि ज्याच्याकडे शेती नाही असाही व्यक्ती करू शकतो, म्हणून ती सगळ्यात महत्त्वाची म्हणजे महत्त्वाचा शेतीपूरक व्यवसाय म्हणून ओळखला जातो. तर शेळीपालन करण्यासाठी आपल्याला जास्त खर्च लागत नाही, कमी खर्चात शेळीपालन होऊ शकतं. त्याचबरोबर शेळीपालन कशासाठी केलं जातं, ऊल भेटावं, मटण भेटावं, त्याचबरोबर मिल्क, चामडं, स्किन भेटावी, या पर्पजनं, या उद्देशानं काय केलं जातं, गोट रेअरिंग म्हणजे शेळीपालन केलं जातं. आणि शेळीला गरिबाची गाय असं म्हटलं जातं. काय म्हटलं जातं, गरिबाची गाय असं म्हटलं जातं. तर भारतामध्ये जवळपास 300 शेळीच्या ब्रीड्स आहेत, 300 काय जाती आहेत. तर त्याच्यापैकी ह्या काय आहेत, तर याच्यामध्ये सगळ्यात महत्त्वाची कुठली आपल्या एक्झामच्या दृष्टिकोनातून ती म्हणजे उस्मानाबादी. तर उस्मानाबादीवरती 2 क्वेश्चन विचारले जाऊ शकतात. एक म्हणजे ओरिजिन ऑफ उस्मानाबादी आणि ओरिजिन ऑफ उस्मानाबादी याच्यामध्ये जर विभागावाईज विचारलं म्हणजे कोकण, मध्य महाराष्ट्र, मराठवाडा आणि विदर्भ, तर याच्यामध्ये मराठवाडा सिलेक्ट करायचा आणि जिल्ह्याचं जर ऑप्शन दिलं असेल तर उस्मानाबाद असेल तर उस्मानाबाद सिलेक्ट करायचं. अशा पद्धतीने हे आपल्याला गोटबद्दल शिकायचं आहे. आफ्टर नेक्स्ट पॉईंट इज दी गोट हाऊसिंग. गोट they cannot be thrive on waterlogging condition, that means marsh or swampy grounds where after occurrence of rainfall or due to flood condition, if the waterlogging condition is occurs, at that time goat cannot be feel comfortable so these goats provided the dry, comfortable, safe, secure place. Also it is free from worms and affecting from or it is protected from excessive heat, that means changeable weather or adverse climatic condition. It is also from like a cold, sunlight, etc. So these are the requirement or the this is related to housing. Also in case of housing, there are 2 types of housing in goat housing. First one is the goat housing over ground like that, and next one is the goat housing over a pole. So these are the two housing types in case of goat. But in rural areas, out of this anyone cannot be used by the farmer. These goats are rear or goats kept in open space by finishing wires or म्हणजेच या ठिकाणी हाऊसिंग म्हणजे काय तर ज्या ठिकाणी पाणीच असतं अशा ठिकाणी शेळ्यांना कम्फर्टेबल वाटत नाही, त्यामुळं त्या ठिकाणी ते राहू शकत नाही. तर कम्फर्टेबल वाटण्यासाठी त्यांना ड्राय प्लेसमध्ये ठेवायचं, सिक्युअर प्लेस म्हणजे सुरक्षित ठिकाणी ठेवायचं. त्याचबरोबर ज्या ठिकाणी वाम्स आहेत, वाम्स त्याला आपण मराठीत किडे असं म्हणू, अशा ठिकाणी त्यांना ठेवायचं नाही. त्याचबरोबर त्यांना बदलणारे वातावरण याच्यामधून धोका होणार नाही किंवा त्रास होणार नाही, म्हणजेच जास्त थंडी होणे किंवा जास्त उष्णता वाढणे अशा ठिकाणी ठेवायचं नाही. तर ठेवले तर त्यांना कम्फर्टेबल होत नाही आणि याचा फायनल इफेक्ट हा यील्डवरती होतो. मग ते मिल्क यील्ड असेल किंवा मीट यील्ड असेल किंवा ऊल असेल एक्सेट्रा याच्यावरती त्याचा परिणाम होतो. तर याच्यामध्ये हाऊसिंगचे दोन प्रकार आहेत. एक म्हणजे गोट हाऊसिंग ओव्हर ग्राउंड आणि दुसरा गोट हाऊसिंग ओव्हर पोल. अशा पद्धतीने हे दोन प्रकार आहेत. परंतु आपल्या महाराष्ट्रात जनरली शेतकरी काय करतात, मोकळ्या रानातच त्यांना बांधतात किंवा गोठ्यात बांधतात. असा जास्त खर्चिक असा गोठा ते तयार करत नाहीत. तर त्याचबरोबर याच्यामध्ये प्रत्येक गोठला साधारणतः 4.5 ते 5.4 स्क्वेअर मीटर जागा लागतो. हा पॉईंट तुम्हाला सेमेस्टर एंड थेरी एक्झामला कमी, परंतु MPSC आणि MCR कृषी सेवक किंवा तलाठी यासाठी हा पॉईंट तुम्हाला महत्त्वाचा आहे. शक्यतो कृषी सेवक, बँकिंग एक्झाम अशा वेळेस किंवा ॲग्रिकल्चर MPSC अशा वेळेस हा क्वेश्चन हमखास विचारू शकतात. द स्पेस रिक्वायरमेंट फॉर ईच गोट अँड द स्पेस इज 4.5 to 5.4 स्क्वेअर मीटर एवढा स्पेस प्रत्येक शेळीला लागतो. आफ्टर दॅट इन केस ऑफ in case of goat, male and females are generally kept together. Also in case of kids, the kids are kept in the basket up to they do not run along with their mothers. जोपर्यंत हे त्याच्या आईबरोबर म्हणजे शेळीबरोबर जोपर्यंत ते जात नाही, पळू शकत नाही किंवा जाऊ शकत नाही, तोपर्यंत त्याला काय करायचं, ह्या बास्केटमध्ये त्याला ठेवून द्यायचं. तर अशा पद्धतीने हे त्याचं हाऊसिंग रिक्वायरमेंट होती कशाची, शेळीची. नेक्स्ट वन दी फीडिंग रिक्वायरमेंट फॉर दी गोट. इन केस ऑफ फीडिंग रिक्वायरमेंट, this goat feed 4 to 5 times more than their body weight. That means if the body weight of this sheep is 10 kg, it feed 40 to 50 kg roughages, concentration and minerals in a day also. So in case of roughages, the tree leaves or some grasses are required to feeding of sheep. Also in case of concentration, the maize, soybean bran, wheat bran, also groundnut cake or also some oilseed cakes, horse gram, fish meal, wheat bran etc. are required in case of concentration. Also in case of minerals and vitamin, common salt vitamin mixture it gives to the daily ration, it gives in daily ration to goat. Also the fresh water is necessary. The fresh water it is important for goat for regulate their digestion system, regulate their blood circulation, also remove unwanted excreta from the body. Also this fresh water it is also replaced at every morning and evening in a day. So this is about the feeding of the goat. शेळीला खाण्यासाठी काय लागतं तर त्याला रेफेजेस कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन आणि मिनरल्स विटॅमिन याच्यामध्ये पहिल्यांदा जे रेफेजेस असतात तर रेफेजेसमध्ये काय म्हणजे झाडाचा पाला असेल गवत असेल या गोष्टी ते खातं आणि या गोष्टी खात असताना टोटल रेफेजेस कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन आणि विटॅमिन मिनरल मिक्सचरमध्ये ही शेळी त्याच्या बॉडी वेटपेक्षा 4 ते 5 पट काय करते जास्त खातं. म्हणजे साधारणतः या शेळीचं 10 किलो वजन असेल तर ते साधारणतः 40 ते 50 किलो चारा म्हणजे त्याच्यामध्ये मग ते ट्री लीव्ज असेल कॉन्सन्ट्रेट असेल मिनरल मिक्सचर असेल हे त्याला एका दिवसात लागतं त्याच्या बॉडीच्या 4 ते 5 पट जास्त. तर रेफेजेसमध्ये काय होतं ट्री लीव्ज आणि म्हणजे झाडाचा पाला आणि गवत. कॉन्सन्ट्रेशनमध्ये काय कॉन्सन्ट्रेशनमध्ये मका असेल गहू असेल किंवा सोयाबीनचा भुसा असेल गव्हाचा भुसा असेल त्याचबरोबर हॉर्स ग्रामचा भुसा किंवा ग्राउंडनट केक म्हणजे काय म्हणू त्याला भुईमुगाची पेंड असेल. तर त्याचबरोबर हे झालं कॉन्सन्ट्रेटरमध्ये. मिनरल्स आणि विटॅमिनमध्ये मिनरल्ससाठी कॉमन साल्ट आणि विटॅमिन मिक्सचर या शेळीला दररोज द्यायचं आहे. तर अशा पद्धतीनं त्याचबरोबर ताजं पाणी किंवा फ्रेश वॉटर त्याला म्हणतो याचीसुद्धा त्याला डेली रेशनमध्ये गरज असणार आहे. तर अशा पद्धतीने हे त्याचं फीडिंग होतं. नेक्स्ट पॉईंट ब्रीडिंग अँड मेंटेनन्स. इन केस ऑफ ब्रीडिंग गोट मॅच्युअर in between 6 to 7 months. In case of goat breeding, when buck attain their age 1 year and doe attain 10-month age, at that time these tools are used for the breeding purpose. Gestation period of the goat is in between 145 to 155 or 155. That means 145 ते 155 दिवस. So this point is important for the competitive exam as well as semester end theory. So next point, this goat give birth to 1 to 3 kids per time. That means at every time the goat give birth to the 1 to 3. That means sometime 1, sometime 2, sometime 3 kids are birthed by the goat at one time or every time. After that number of ewing are 3 per 2 years. Also in case of breeding and maintenance, the kids can be weaned after 30 to 45 days. That means weaned means after 30 to 45 days the kids feed other food material than the mother milk. After that the mother can be allowed for mating 45 to 60 days after ewing. After that in case of breeding program, once in 5 year, that means after completion of 5 year the buck is changed for the breeding. Because if the continuous buck after 5 years the buck is continuous used for breeding, one buck is used continuous for breeding program, at that time the quality of progeny or quality in breeding it is decline. That means to avoid the deterioration, that means to avoid reduce quality, that means to maintain quality, after 5 years buck is changed. Once only one buck cannot be used after 5 years to breeding program, they can be changed after 5 years. Also in case of goat in case of buck when attain their body weight 25 to 30 kg in 9 months, it is ready for sold or ready for market. So this is about the breeding and maintenance of the goat. Now the next component, we study about the next component and these components is the fish. It is another fish rearing, fish culture, or farming. It is the also known by the aquaculture, or another name is the pisciculture. These are two different names of the fish culture. That means fish culture, fish rearing, fish farming is also known as the aquaculture, or also known by the another words the piscicultures. Piscicultures मराठी त्याला मत्स्यपालन असं म्हणतात. So now the next point, in case of fish, the species of fish: katla, rohu, common carp, mrigal, silver carp, grass carps. These are the common cultivated species of fish. That means to cultivation of fish or the rearing of fish, these 6 species are mostly used for fish rearing or aquaculture or pisciculture. So in this fish culture, the katla, it is a surface feeder and common feeder. That means it feed at surface and horizontal type, vertical and horizontal type. Also it is important for semester end exam, also some competitive exam. That means the feeding habit of the different fish species. It may be sometime asked feeding habit of rohu, mrigal, silver carp, also cutla fish. So on the basis of their feeding habit, these 6 species is divided into 6 types, or having these 6 species having feeding habit is different. So in case of feeding habit, katla having feeding habit is surface and column feeder. Rohu, it is also column feeder. Mrigal, it is a bottom feeder. Surface silver carp, it is a surface and phytoplankton feeder. Phytoplankton means it is feed also microscopic plants. That means small plants, those are germinated or those are rearing in pond as well as in sea surface, or in also in river surface. So next one is the carp. Next one is the grass carp. So this grass carp, it is the it feed the aquatic plants. It feed aquatic plants, vegetables, and cut grasses also. And this grass, it is the exotic. This fish is the exotic. Out of that, katla, it is the fast growing fish. Katla, it is the fast growing fish. So these are the different species of fish. Out of that, some are the Indian fish or some are the exotic carp or fish. The exotic carps or exotic fish are the silver carp, grass carp, and common carp. And the Indian carp or Indian fish are the katla, rohu, and mrigal. So these are the major cultivated fish, some Indian or some exotic. So these fish are cultivated in pond. It is also useful and beneficial. That means the cultivation of or rearing of fish in pond is also useful as well as it is also benefited. So to cultivate the fish, if you selected the pond before rearing of fish, some characteristics are checked, that including the soil of the fish, also water of the fish. Some impurities are found in soil or also in water after the testing of soil and water. These impurities is reduces by addition of some materials or some practices. So we study about this some characteristics or some characters of the ponds which are to study necessary to rearing of uh, fish or also for aquaculture. So in general the fish it is you sorry a pond is it is used for the domestic requirement, that means the water requirement. If the water is required to livestock, at that time this water is used for livestock purpose, also for irrigation, that means for food crops, also for pisciculture, that means for cultivation of fish. So it is the common use for the common use of pond. In case of fish culture or fish rearing, the depth of pond should be 1.5 to 2 meter. Why? Because it is a sufficient depth 1.2 to 2 meter for the photosynthesis and the temperature maintenance, for the photosynthesis and temperature maintenance, for the growth of the phytoplanktons and zoos, that means some microbes or some living organism, त्याला किडे असे म्हणतो आपण, to grow in pond, also to grow microscopic plants. This 1.5 to 2.0 meter depth of pond is suitable. Also in case of clay, while the point is selected to pond, at that time we types of soil it is also important. If the type type of soil is clay, it is most suitable for pond or fish culture, because the clay having higher water holding capacity, that means it hold water more as compared to sandy soil. In case of sandy soil, we can rear the fish, that means pond is constructed, its water holding capacity of sand is less, and due to less water holding capacity, these ponds is dry when constructed in sandy soil. So ponds always constructed in clay soil, because having water holding capacity is more and water is hold for more times. Also in case of soil is also tested, and after tested, nitrogen and phosphorus also check. If the nitrogen and phosphorus is less in amount, at that time nutrient nitrogenous fertilizer like ammonium nitrate and also urea, ammonium sulfate and urea also apply to maintain the nitrogen level in soil, and to maintain phosphorus level in soil, use the phosphatic fertilizer, that means super phosphate should be added to maintain the phosphorus in soil. If the nitrogen and phosphorus is not maintained in soil, it is adverse affected on the rearing of fish, and finally its effects on the yield of fish. So nitrogen and phosphorus it is also maintained. Also in case of nitrogen phosphorus, to maintain the nitrogen phosphorus, organic manures also can apply. That means to maintain pH, nitrogenous fertilizer, phosphoric fertilizer and organic manures are applied. After that it is about the soil. Next one about the water. In case of water, the suitable water or fresh water is also necessary to getting maximum yield of fish. So in case of water, if the water first one take and tested, after testing the water it is not balanced, or water is water is not contain appropriate combination of or appropriate proportion of phosphate, nitrate, dissolved oxygen. At that time, the that means if in water the phosphate is not maintained 0.2 to 0.4 ppm, nitrate 0.06 to 1 ppm, and dissolved oxygen 5 to 7. If this not maintained, at that time it is maintained. At that time it is maintained. Also the pH of the soil, it is slightly alkaline. That means the pH of soil water, it is 7.5 to 8.5. if the pH of water is less, that means 6.5, at that time it can be adjusted or maintained by the addition of lime. And this lime is added to water 2 to 3 days up to maintaining pH of pH of water. जोपर्यंत वॉटरचा pH मेंटेन होत नाही तोपर्यंत लाईम काय करायचं, त्याच्यामध्ये ॲड करायचं. आणि ॲड करत असताना 2 ते 3 दिवसानंतर, म्हणजे 2 ते 3 दिवसाचा इंटरवल ठेवून काय करायचं, त्याच्यामध्ये ॲड करायचं. नेक्स्ट वन, इफ वॉटर pH इज हाय, ॲट दॅट टाईम टू मेंटेन और रिड्यूस द pH ऑफ वॉटर, ॲड द gypsum add to maintain or reduce the pH of the water. Also, to maintain pH of water, fresh dung may be applied to reduce the pH of water. So like that, some characteristics of ponds, or this characteristics of pond are necessary to rearing of fish or to getting or obtaining maximum yield. After that, one point is also polyfish culture. That means the cultivation, it is the rearing of fish or phytophagous fish with the combination of omnivorous plankton and mud eater fish. That means the composite feed culture techniques. That means in case of polyfish culture or composite feed culture fish culture system, the phytophagous fish like a cutla, rohu and mrigal, these are rare with the combination of omnivorous. Omnivorous animal or fish are feed both plant and animals. The example is common carp, also plankton feeder, that means the silver carp, and mud feeder, that is the mrigal and calabasu. That means the combination of this phytophagous fish and the combination of omnivorous plankton feeder and mud eater, it is known as the polyfish culture or composite fish culture. See here, Katla, Rohu, Mrigal. These are rare with the combination of grass feeder and common feeder. Also, plankton feeder, that means silver carp. So, this is about the polyfish culture. Next one, the management of the fish. In case of management or in case of feeding of fish, in feeding, the supplementary added rice bran and oil cakes. That means for the feeding of fish, rice bran and oil cakes, different oil cakes like a mustard, groundnut, etc. should be give or apply to the feeding to fish or provided to the fish. Each variety of carp stocked to 500 fingerlings with the total of 5,000 to 8,000 per hectare. Here fingerlings means small fish. फिश म्हणजे याच्यामध्ये एक मोठा कार्प, एक मोठा मासा 5,000 ते 80,000 पर हेक्टर जेवढे मासे आहेत त्याच्यापैकी 500 मासे काय करू शकतो, खाऊ शकतो, स्टॉक करू शकतो. तो सो इन केस ऑफ स्टोकिंग each variety of carp could be stocked to 500 fingerlings with the total of 5,000 to 8,000 per hectare. And when stocking these fingerlings, the yield is obtained it's in between 20 to 50 quintal per hectare per year. That means 2,000 to 5,000 fish or for 2,000 to 5,000 kg per hectare annually. So this is about the management of fish. That means this is about the component of फार्मिंग सिस्टीम अँड दी कॉम्पोनंट इज फिश. तर अशा पद्धतीने आपण आज शिप अँड गोट आणि दुसरा कुठला फिश हा कॉम्पोनंट्स ऑफ फार्मिंग सिस्टीम या ठिकाणी पाहिला.